Quanto mais você ouve podcasts, mais aprende sobre o mundo. É a prova de que a experiência é o que nos faz mais fortes. E esse é também o princípio da Ford, para criar as picapes com DNA raça forte, que valorizam cada quilômetro rodado e que constroem um verdadeiro legado. Essa é a nossa força. Paz no trânsito começa por você.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. Let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
We always ask our guests if they are on antidepressants, but I know the answer because I know you will.
But the answer is always yes, isn't it? Isn't the answer always yes?
No, it isn't. That's why I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Some of the people, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't believe it. But it's definitely...
Because they're happy or because they're unhappy?
Because they're...
Because they need it or because they don't need it? And
I feel like
you can't understand why.
I feel like they need it. They're like, no, I do this, I do that.
I do meditation. I
do too.
Right.
I work out. I heard you running.
I was.
I stopped.
No. I'm not saying I do meditation. I'm saying that's what these people say.
Well, yeah, that's
I
what
do meditation.
And I just let it.
And I don't eat gluten and
right,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Shut up. Just take a pill.
Just
take a pill.
You assholes. Opioid asshole. What do you think? Michael, there's a special on the opioid crisis. My sister and I are watching it. We'd like you to come down.
Michael! We have opioids, Michael!
Michael, I ordered you the opioids with honey mustard. So, I, suffer from depression, and I had a bad episode, it's got to be 7 years ago, right? But that horrible episode made me realize, I've been having this forever.
Oh, yeah.
And I had diurnal depression, which means...
It means you can't go to the bathroom.
Right. And so... I did this all day. No, which means I cannot function during the day, but when the sun went down, it would lift. And I realized that's how it's been my entire life.
Interesting.
Like, I feel a sense of relief when night comes and I'm getting ready to go out and do stand. It's like, it's so interesting that what you learn about yourself after a fucking major depression. It's exactly what you said in the beginning, where you're stripped down to nothing,
right,
and have to build yourself back up. All right, anyway. So you're an amphibian.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start what was this, sketch comedy? Did you blow?
Sketch comedy started in college at NYU.
Slate?
The name of the group?
The Slate, yeah.
Close.
Stella?
Close. It was called The State. Stella.
Oh, I was...
I mean, it's one of the most influential American comedy groups of the last 25 years. Who cares?
Yes,
Who cares, Judy? What difference does it make, Judy? What
I talked
difference
about it
does
with
it
Kevin
make?
Allison.
What? Who cares?
I said The Slate. I meant the... Michael, I'm sorry.
Michael, is it The Slate? Is that what you like on TV?
Michael, I'm sorry. I have... chicken fingers with an opioid crust.
That's what I was going to say, the opioid crust.
Yeah.
That started in college, my freshman year, and we went on to have a television show. So when I returned from the Turtles,
right,
the Frogs, within a year or two of that, we had our own
And that
show.
was full of, major players right now who are, what? That was such a Jewish look.
Well, I mean, how much credit do I want to give them? You know what I mean? How
it was mostly you.
It was,
you did all the writing.
A lot of people in that group have gone on to have really nice careers.
Right.
But major players, none of us are major players. But we're doing
You
well.
have 2 million. How do you feel about your 2 million
It's
Twitter?
a bullshit, stupid number. It means nothing. It's not real.
Right.
It's not a real number.
Right.
I don't know what percentage is bots. Let's say.
Right.
50, 60%, whatever that is. And then of the rest, how many of them are actually paying attention? Very few.
But you want to know what infuriates me is that as a comic, it's now how many, I want to book her, but how many followers does she have? And it's like, first of all, some people don't do Twitter,
right,
who are fans of mine. You know what I mean? It's like, this is now how you decide who you're going to book.
Moreover, if I promote something on Twitter, do you know how much that moves the needle? Zero.
Right.
So it's an irrelevant number in terms of career.
Michael, I found your needle. It needs to be cleaned. Yeah.
Michael, do you have to curse on Twitter? My sister can't stand it.
You know, my mother used to say, Judith, I don't know why you have to curse. Bill Cosby never curses. And then before she died, I'm like, yeah, but he fucking rapes. Why don't I?
And that's what killed her.
I said, Ma, here, take this pill and shut the fuck up. So, all right. So you're doing this sketch comedy. You're writing. You've written several books and children's books.
Yeah.
I mean, you're so prolific. I mean, it's unbelievable what comes out of that tiny little body of yours.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying the body is tiny. I have body dysmorphia and always feel I'm on the verge of morbid obesity, so thank you.
Oh, I don't have that at all. I want to fucking kill myself.
That's part of the reason I wrote the book was about this issue.
I love it.
Men aren't allowed culturally to talk about their body issues in any way that isn't supposed to be you're bald and you're fat. But men
you know what's interesting about that whole notion? Like, I know from having so Henry, my older one, always very thin. He was born a month early. He has like the teeniest nipples, right? So he's like, I can't wear my shirt, not wear a shirt because I have teeny. I'm like, who fucking cares about your teeny? You know,
he's self-conscious about the size of his nipples.
Yeah. So he was, now he's self-conscious because he doesn't have enough body hair and all his friends have body hair. But then I watch I watch them in their awkward stages. Right. Even Ben, when he was like, still had his baby fat, you know, and I could see him like trying on different shirts. And I was like, oh, well, I know exactly what that feels like. Right. I was 6 feet at 13. It was really easy. So, and I noticed that they do have the same sort of insecurities, and yet no one talks about it. But on the other hand, why does like Kevin James get to have a thin, beautiful wife on television? Why are all these fat? I mean, he's attractive, but I'm just saying. But why is it always that the big
galump
has some hot wife?
Because television is aspirational,
right?
So guys.
But it's in life too. I mean, like Donald Trump has.
But we know the answer to that.
Right.
And King of Queens, he's a UPS driver.
Right.
You're like, well, what?
Wait, yeah. So you're. And your wife's what? Wait. Hold on.
Although she's not like gorgeous or anything, she's a normal looking girl. I think she's just small.
Right. But I'm just saying, it's if she was fat and he was thin, there'd be no fucking show.
That's why all of us, is that what that's called? This Is Us is going to win Emmys.
I know.
Because they're so brave. Do you watch that show? They're so brave.
It's so brave because...
I don't watch it. My wife and daughter watch it. They like it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Can I talk about This Is Us? Because
sure.
I watched it, Elisa, my part... Elaine! My sister, Elisa, and I watched it only because I felt like I need to because of my stand-up, right? So it's addicting because it's so unrealistic. It's like one of those things where you can't wait to. It's such a fucking train. I mean, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's so great." I'm like, it's so unrealistic. Like this wouldn't fucking ever happen. Okay.
I'm nodding, having never seen it. I'm like, yes, Judy, yes. I have no idea.
But I can't wait to see what they get away with the following week. And the fact that people are like, "Are you serious, Judy? Or, it's so good. It's amazing. And it's like, no, it's not. Like the father is homeless, and then he lives with them, and then it's so fucking ridiculous. Would never fucking happen. And yet that's what people watch and is going to win Emmys. And she's fat, so that's great.
Well, because it's brave. She's brave.
She's brave. So brave. Here. Can you eat this pizza? Oh my God, you're so brave. You want me to order another one? Why do I keep looking over here? Okay, so what do you think your mother was most proud of about you?
About me?
Yeah, was it the writing? Is it the acting? Or
I think the amount that she really didn't understand this business or
Right.
my career
Right.
is hilarious. She would often say things like, you should do a drama. You should be in movies.
Oh my God, yes.
That kind of thing.
Yes.
Where you're like, you really just don't understand.
Right. Like
at all.
when people say, why aren't you on Saturday Night Live?
Right.
Oh, I
hadn't thought of that.
How come you don't have your own sitcom? Thank you so much. Because I forgot that I wanted that.
I forgot that was a thing that I could do.
And I just haven't pursued it. Because the money's not good.
No. She used to drive me crazy I'd be on like 3 shows and like doing whatever, and she'd be like, so do you have any irons in the fire?
Oh God, I
like,
hate that.
Ugh.
No, my mother used to always say to me, and you know how you rarely have lulls, but I would have lulls. How's work? How's work going?
Right.
I'm like, shut up. When I was depressed, she'd call me every day. Are you better? Are you better? Are you better? And I'm like, no, Ma, I'm fucking mentally ill. Okay.
Right.
It's my fault. It's my fault. But yeah, she would always say, and it was always at the worst time that she would say, so you busy? Shut up!
She was reaching out because she cared and she loved you.
I know. She loved me so much.
And she was asking in entirely the wrong way.
Right.
So I think my mom was most proud of just that I had succeeded to the extent that I've succeeded.
Right.
In a field that I think in her mind and in mine, actually, when I said this is what I was going to do, seemed impossible.
Right.
Just didn't seem like something anybody could do.
Right.
And the fact that I did it, I think, tickled her.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
How did you know my mom?
Well, Elaine and I met at the Clit Club. Oh, yeah. So, sorry, I'm moving my chair. So this whole, I interviewed my mother. Like I read about how you interviewed your mother, which I think is so great. And I did a show, 25 Questions for a Jewish Mother, where I interviewed Jewish mothers all over the country. But one of the mothers I interviewed was my mother, and I said one of the questions I asked her was, if you hadn't had kids, what would you have done with And she said, what you do.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like floored. I was floored. And she was the funniest, most sarcastic, like I can't even tell you, quick-witted. And yet I thought, there's no way. Because if like a casting director was like, thank you. What do you mean, thank you? I worked so hard. 3 days I've been like, that's it? I can't even imagine her having, the Constitution to continue to,
there has to be a certain amount of self-flagellation and hating that you're willing to endure to put up with this, and I think most people probably wisely don't have that.
Do you feel lucky?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, you have the goods. Do you feel like if you were a woman, it would have been harder? Your cock?
It's one of those. My cock, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me. I'm a great-looking human being.
I mean, I'm wet.
I know. It's been, I don't know if the microphone is picking up on the dripping, but it's been dripping this entire time. Would it? I don't know. I don't know if it would have been easier or harder. I assume it would be much harder.
Right.
Because your window as a woman in this business to break through is about, depending on when you start, but let's say you start when you're an adult.
Right.
From 18 to, let's say, 30.
Right.
And that's it. And if you haven't really broken through, the odds of you doing so after that are very, very, very low.
Yeah.
Which makes me happy when I see like Tiffany Haddish. 39 now. Nobody's even heard her name. I was on a show with her years ago.
Right.
And now she's poised to become a huge star.
Right.
Makes me happy as hell when something like that happens.
Do you feel like a 6'2" lesbian Jews 54 would be able to break through that?
I have often thought it's Judy time. I think it's Judy time.
Yeah, I've been thinking that for the 34 years I've been doing this, and yet I still I just love what I do. I can never do anything
what it
else.
is. You just love what you do.
I do. Like, I go out. did the Cellar last night. Like, I go out several nights a week.
So what are you bitching about? You're living the dream.
I'm not living there's so much I really would love. I'd love just some great part on some socially relevant, juicy show that goes into syndication so that I could fucking relax. I mean,
yeah,
it's just really hard.
It's really about the relaxing.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want to relax. The socially conscious you could do without.
Right.
The juicy part you could do without.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the relaxing.
It's not having, oh my God, how do I pay my fucking rent in 2 months?
Yes.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
So you're a major poker player. When did you start playing? Don't act. He did the nod like,
well, because I don't play that much right now. And haven't
but
played
you've
that much in a
won
while.
a lot of tournaments, and you've been called by other poker players a great poker player.
Well, but that's they're correcting for the fact that I'm an actor.
Right.
They're saying for an actor, he's a good, which is the same way of saying for an idiot, he's a good poker player.
Right. Do you have good poker face?
This is a misnomer about poker in general.
Right.
The idea that you need any particular kind of poker face, the idea that your emotions are somehow being telegraphed to the world is a more of a myth than anything.
Really?
Yeah. Most people can just sort of maintain a straight face when they're playing poker. Nobody's giggling when they have a great hand.
Like, guess what I have? You're a loser. Do you gamble when you go to Vegas?
No, I play poker.
Yeah.
But poker players will say that's not gambling.
Right.
Because unlike
you have to think.
Well, no, but partially, but because unlike every other game in the house, there's the casino has no advantage when you play poker. You're playing against other players. So although there's luck involved, and a fair amount of it, over time, the more skilled player will win.
Do you count cards?
It's not really applicable in poker.
Do you know that Gabe, what's his name?
Kaplan.
God damn it, I forgot his last name. Yeah.
Jew.
Oh, wait. Gabe Kaplan from Welcome Back, Kotta, can't go to the casinos anymore.
That's not
They had to pay him back. Really?
Of course he can go to the casinos.
Because he's won so much money. I thought
he plays poker. He doesn't. The casino, you can win every dollar at the poker room, and they won't ban you because you're not taking their money. You're taking other poker players' money. Now, I don't know if he's some sort of blackjack shark.
Right.
In which case they could ban him, but for playing poker, no, that would never happen.
Now, you were up for the Late Show.
Right.
Host job.
I've
been there. I've done pilots. They're like, oh my God, you are so great. Oh, this is going to, and then it's like.
And do you conduct yourself on those shows the way you conduct yourself during these interviews?
Michael! Michael! He's not answering, Elaine. Michael! So you hosted a few of them, and then they gave it to Craig.
Right.
Were you devastated? Yeah, Craig Ferguson.
It was a really interesting and complicated moment for me.
Right.
Because...
I mean, when you're doing it, aren't you thinking, oh my God, dream, like, this is the greatest thing in the whole... No.
Yes.
Well, yes.
But...
Right.
I had just done a pilot for Comedy Central with my friends called Stella.
Right.
And by even auditioning for the Late Show, what I was essentially saying to those guys was, I'm putting this ahead of you.
Right.
And it caused a lot of tumult because we were all passionate about this television show.
Right.
And emotionally, I was very conflicted.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to hurt my friends. But I didn't know how to not walk through that door when it was opened. You go, well,
and what would they have done?
They would have done something else, but it would have, I mean, it did hurt our friendship to begin with.
Right.
And it would have irreparably hurt our friendship if it had happened.
So it was a blessing in...
It was, you know, and the crazy thing about it was, I did a week of shows, and at the end of it, I was very much led to believe that the job was mine.
Oh, 100 times. 100 times.
And so mentally, I was like, I just got this job.
Right.
And I remember the exact feeling that I had.
Yes.
And I can describe to you the exact feeling that I had when I thought I had it.
Right.
Which is, I feel like I've just bought a house that I don't know if I can afford.
Right.
Meaning, I've just bought this great thing, and I'm not entirely sure I'm not going to have buyer's regret about this.
Right.
Because I understood the grind of it.
Right.
It meant moving my family to LA.
Right.
It meant changing a lot of things about my life that I wasn't sure I should change.
Right.
And then, of course, when it didn't happen, I was devastated.
And relieved.
Yes. But the devastation, I think, had more to do
Yeah.
with the fact that I had lost than the thing that I had lost.
Exactly. It's like, there's this whole everything happens for a reason, or meant to be, beschert. And yet, utter rejection, killing of dream,
Yeah.
the business is exactly how they say it. People are full of shit.
Yeah.
They're not my friends.
Oh, they'll lie right to your face.
Yeah.
And that was something that I didn't know.
It's so, when it happens for the first time, it's so devastating.
Yeah. It was really.
I know. And
really
it's like
devastating.
you grow up. You have to be like, wow. It's like, that's how I felt. It's like a similar feeling when Donald Trump won. When I thought, wait, this is not my
Well, when I didn't
Yeah.
get the Late Late Show,
Yeah.
I certainly feared for my country. I was
Right.
like, my country
Yes.
needs me.
Yes.
They need
and
me.
they took a foreigner. Michael, I can't even understand what he's saying. They made a big mistake.
First of all, I think I ended up really liking Craig Ferguson's
Yeah,
show.
he's good.
It was just so silly and
Yeah.
fun. And I liked what he did with it a
Even
lot.
though I did a set on it, I'm not good at doing the sets on this.
I've never done it. I'd be terrified.
I'm so much better at couch because I'm
Uh-huh.
a storyteller, So I did couch on Colbert, which was great, and I've done it. I did it on the Tonight Show, great. But it's like when they say to you, put a 4-minute set together. It's like, oh my God, no, I can't turn
Right.
my thing into,
Right.
And the people that can, good for them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a skill.
So,
And the fact that you haven't honed your skill, I mean, that says more about you than it does about them. I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean that your craft isn't developed. I don't mean that in a mean way.
So, can we talk a little bit? All right, there's some people I'd like to discuss.
Oh.
Alan Alda.
Okay.
There was an obsession with Alan Alda.
Well,
and I love Alan Alda.
Everybody loves Alan
Yeah.
Alda. That was part of the thing.
Right.
In the mid-'70s, he sort of became the emblem of a sex symbol, this new
Right.
idea of what a man can and
Right.
should be.
Don't you think it would behoove us to have Alan Alda as a sex symbol right now?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it would behoove us to have Alan Alda as a kind of exemplar of masculinity.
Right.
And for a moment, he kind of was.
Right.
He and like Elliot Gould
Yeah.
and like just these guys
Right.
who were just like, they were masculine
Right.
in some ways, but they were also, or Dustin Hoffman, Jews, they were, the word was sensitive at
Right.
the time. And then that came to mean weak. Sensitive came to mean effeminate.
Right.
I mean, maybe it always did.
Right.
And so, yeah, and he was certainly a darling of my mother and Elaine in that time.
Oh, please. I loved him.
I
Tall,
still love him.
Thin. I
Oh.
love him. I love him.
I mean, he's
And he's like, when people are like, what kind of career do you want? I always think of him because such integrity. He's so fucking smart. He's so talented. He's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
He's into science. Like, he does other things. Like, he's.
and he plays a wide range of stuff.
Yes. And he's funny.
Yeah, he's funny as fuck. And then, anything
And
he
he
does,
married a
does well.
Jew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he married a Jew. What
Michael, why don't you marry a Jew?
Michael, I really would prefer, if it's between her and the other one, that you go with the Jew. So, okay. So, LeVar Burton.
Uh-huh.
You had a Twitter war.
Yeah, which I dubbed Le War.
Le War.
Instead of Lavar, which I thought very clever, Michael.
I like that.
It was a goof.
Right.
When we both signed up for Twitter kind of simultaneously.
Right.
And he had 20,000 followers and I had no followers.
Right.
I expressed profound outrage at that fact. And then he gamely played along. And then for several days, we both benefited from this faux...
Can we have a faux war? Because I only have like 38,000.
Oh, I don't even know why I'm here.
Oh.
This has been great. Thank you.
Michael!
He walked out.
Michael!
But
Elaine, have you seen Michael?
This was when Twitter was just getting going, and so it was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a novel
did you
use
know
of
LeVar?
it.
Well,
I've still never met him.
Did you? So when I was a child in the 70s, Roots, and I was fucking thought he was the greatest. I mean, he was, So I was a little jealous about you. So on Tweetar, you're very vocal about politics, and I mean, like I just you're so great about that fucking piece of shit. But I noticed something that has also happened to me. And I'm a lessee. I don't know if did I mention that I'm...
No.
Oh.
This is all new to me.
Yeah. And I get, you'd think I'd get all this anti-gay shit. But what I get is anti-Semitism.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read that you have not really experienced it.
Oh, no. The opposite.
Trump,
until Trump, yeah.
Yes, until Trump.
Yeah.
Became, and it's unbelievable. Like I've had people write, they should have another Holocaust just for you, and I was like, really? I mean, why kill all those other people?
Well, also just the expense involved, and the logistics involved, just for you,
and the planning, and the train, the transportation.
Just what a nightmare.
But how does that feel? Because I look, I don't know how I grew up in a household. My father was born in 1916. My mother was born in 1922. My father was in World War II. My mother was in New York, but definitely felt there was a lot of anti-Semitism, even here in New York City. And, I grew up in they hate us, they all hate us, everyone hates us. Judith, they hate you. That have Jewish friends. You need to have Jewish friends. Jewish. And I was like, Ma, shut up. And it's like, I say to my kids now, and even Henry, who's in Bloomington, sees the, anti-Semitism.
Bloomington sounds like a Jewish name.
It really does. Michael, the Bloomingtons are here. Can you come downstairs? Get your brother. So, how does that make you? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, I didn't know how to process it.
Right.
It was wholly unexpected. I didn't. I had no idea that was coming. And then over time, what I realized, along with the rest of the world, was it was an organized and concerted effort coming from a very small number of people and or bots that may have been orchestrated from overseas.
Right.
And so it was this whole thing that was going on, not to me, but to any Jew.
Right.
Or any Trump opponent, really. But if you were Jewish, it would be the foulest kind of anti-Semitic language.
Right.
I don't really know what the intention was. Maybe to intimidate you into silence. It certainly didn't do that to me.
But I mean,
but my wife was frightened.
Of course.
And she wanted me to stop, and I was like,
then they win.
Kind of. I mean, I was like, as a Jew. And as a Jew, Judy, I'm not religious, as you said.
Right.
I do identify as Jewish because I am.
Right.
But I do keenly feel the responsibility to speak out.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
You have to.
Right.
Because otherwise you're complicit. And I'm
Right.
not going to be complicit.
Right. But this scaring...
I'm so brave. I'm so brave.
I want to thank Michael Ian Black. During the making of this podcast, he was so brave. And
I really just gave I left it all on the field for you.
It's unbelievable that I have to say to my kids, look, they hate us. Because they do. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, I don't know who they is. I don't know that there is a they.
Here's the other thing that really pisses me off. All these right-wing evangelical Republicans who are like, we love Israel, we love Israel, we love Israel. And it's only because they believe in the rapture.
Right.
It's not because you love Jews or you believe in the state of Israel.
No. It's because they want it all to be demolished so that the Messiah can come and whatever they're going to do.
Right. And yet these, the Republican Jews who, bond with these evangelical, it's so,
I don't know what the word
It's
is for what
Hebrew.
you described,
Yeah.
but I get it.
Yeah.
It's maddening. It's maddening that you would make common cause with people who really don't give a shit about you.
Right.
And would probably rather you weren't.
Right.
There's no doubt in my mind that if the Steve Bannons of the world were to have their way,
Right.
That old saying would come true. First, they would come for the Muslims.
Right.
And they would come for the gays.
Right.
And they would come for the transgenders
Right.
and whomever. And it wouldn't take long for them to get to the Jews.
Right.
It wouldn't take that long.
Right. I mean, how does Kushner fucking deal with Bannon? How do you deal with someone who
I don't know.
is so fucking anti-Semitic?
I don't know. I honestly, that's a mystery to me. It's a mystery to me how Kushner, who by all accounts is an observant Jew,
Right.
when convenient,
Right. When the rabbi, allows him to fly or drive or whatever, yeah.
can have an alliance with this piece of shit.
Right.
So the only conclusion that can be drawn is that Jared Kushner is a piece of shit.
What? Oh.
Because of all his various financial improprieties and
Oh,
fraud.
my God. And the fucking...
And by extension, of course, Ivanka Trump is a piece of shit.
Yes. What do you think is going to happen? I often... Okay, so I'll get up. I get up in the morning. I try not to... I mean, it's like there's an alert. I want to... Don't look. What did he do?
And how long does that last before you look? 3 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to leave the phone in another room, so I know I'm gonna pee,
Right.
and start the coffee maker,
And then I look.
and then I'm like, there it is. I don't know when he's out if I'll miss this addiction of,
You won't.
because I hate the fact that I can write back to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
That I can, tweet right back to him, you're a fucking piece of shit. And not in that way. I try to be more eloquent. But it's mind-boggling to me.
I think there's an equal chance that he will be dragged out of the White House in handcuffs and that he will win a second term in a landslide. Equal chance. I have no idea what's going to happen.
That's what's so scary. And how, first of all, anyone else would have been fired already.
Oh. Anyone else would have been up against a wall by now. But for whatever, we know the reasons. And it goes back to what we were talking about originally, and you can expand the idea of misogyny to xenophobia to racism to everything else. He represents the ugliest genetic strain of Americanism. That has been with us from the beginning, will always be with us, and he's just given voice to it in a way that is so ugly and vile and so revealing of our country.
He called the White House a dump.
Yeah, he did.
He's a disgusting... The hair. Can we just discuss the hair? You can. If there was a fucking woman with that fucking hair...
There was. It was his mother.
Oh, that's right. Did you see that picture? That's right. It's it's a fucking beehive.
It's like she just put cotton candy, a thing of cotton candy on her head.
Right.
There's no amount of caricature that's too absurd for this fucker.
I know.
And so every fresh insult, every fresh outrage, you go, none of it matters. None of
Right.
it means anything. So so that's why I say he could easily win a second term. I have no idea.
Where would you move if...
Believe me. I mean, I've been thinking about it.
No way. Canada?
I don't think so.
Where do you want to...
Well, my current thing to my wife is and I've done a little exploration in
Right.
this. We'll go to Italy or France,
Right.
a little town, and disappear. Like, just basically stop existing, other than to the market and
Right.
to the homes of our amis,
Right.
and just drop out.
Okay, but you would go crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I could still write. I
Right.
mean, my thing is, obviously, is this going to happen? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really troubled me, and I think troubled a lot of people.
Right.
I know it's troubled a lot of people. Isn't so much Trump, although he is an abomination.
It's the people.
It is what it has revealed about this country.
Right.
And the idea that we are a people who could elect this abomination is so. It's an unmasking that
It's embarrassing that we were like, what does the United States say? What do you think they say? Can you help us out? It's
Right.
like, who the fuck would go to him for any?
To me, it's more than embarrassing. It's a kind of national humiliation
Yes,
that I don't think
humiliating.
I'll ever quite recover from, because it reveals a truth about America that I didn't want to see.
Right.
Or that I was in denial
and
about.
that we shut up for a long time.
Yeah.
What is your relationship with Meghan McCain?
Great.
Because you guys wrote a book together.
We wrote a book together, and
I always liked her.
she's what I love about her
Well, she's pro-gay, so I enjoy her.
has always been
Yes.
very vocally pro-gay.
Yes.
What I really love about her is multifold. First of all,
Multifold.
Thank you.
I love that.
She contains multitudes. What I love about her is she is unafraid to speak her mind.
Yes.
Even certainly when it's in opposition to me, she has no
Right,
problem doing it.
right.
But even when it's in opposition to her own party,
Right.
and maybe this is more important, she's unafraid to change her mind.
Right.
She's unafraid to, and I say that because it's hard for me to do that.
Right.
It's hard for me, and I think for most people, to move off a position once you've staked it out.
Right.
And she's willing to do that.
Well, because their positions are, to be honest,
Well,
some of them are.
And
Yeah,
Megan
but
and
yeah.
I, we have made a pact to remain friends through
Right.
the difficulties of the political season. And incidentally, she's not like a Trump fan.
Okay, good, because that was my next
I don't
question.
know that I don't know that we could survive if she was like as friends, if
Right.
she were ardently
I mean,
pro-Trump.
did she ever say, after he fucking said that thing about her father, that he's not a hero? Did you ever speak to her after that? And what were her...
I'm sure we spoke about
Yes.
it, and I'm sure you can imagine what she said. I don't recall exactly, but
Right.
I can imagine, and I wouldn't want to speak for her
Right.
here.
Have you met the parents?
Oh, yeah.
What's with the mother's hair?
The thing, I was very intimidated to meet Cindy McCain.
Really?
Very
Because of her
intimidated.
hair?
Not because of her hair.
Oh, all right.
Because when they ran,
Yeah.
I thought she was so cold.
Yes, me too.
And you meet her, she's so warm.
Really?
And lovely. Yeah, and interested in you
Right.
and engaged.
Oh, I
and
love that.
Very, very sweet woman. And I think she was just shy. I think
Right.
she was literally shy on the campaign trail. I
Right.
think she was uncomfortable with the spotlight. She's done a tremendous amount of work in human trafficking,
Right.
and dealing with issues in the Congo. Like, she's an accomplished woman
Yes.
who is heavily involved in issues that she cares about, and she cares about some pretty good issues.
What about him, John?
He's exactly what you think he is. I mean, he is.
He's masculine. I would say
is
he's a
masculine.
man.
He
Yeah.
is. He is the classic man's man.
Right.
Makes very good ribs. I can tell
Right.
you that.
Really?
Yeah, and takes
And
enormous
his
pride.
were broken.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and here's something you don't know about John McCain. Loves ABBA.
No way.
Loves ABBA.
Really?
You go to his house. There's really only one soundtrack. It's like a tape or a mixtape or something that somebody made for him in like 1983 that's just ABBA. Like
did he see
Queen.
Mamma Mia?
I'm sure he did. I don't
my
know.
God,
We've
I
never
love
talked
that.
about it. And I can't tell you how relieved I was when he gave that no vote.
Oh my God, when he went over with his hand out and he was like, and it was so like, fuck you. It was exactly, it's like,
because I'd been getting so much shit when he voted to proceed.
Well, that was just to talk.
With the debate,
yeah.
right.
Well, no one reads and knows what they're voting on, you know. But it was so, and you know what I loved? Did you stay up for the vote?
No.
Oh, I watched the vote, and you could see them all walking over to him and trying to convince him. And he's just standing there, you know, like, great, good, yep. I mean, it was fucking beautiful.
I mean, I think, well, from what I know about him, and I've spent some time with him.
Yes.
I think he really does have, I know he has a fierce patriotism that manifests itself primarily in the military and foreign affairs. Right. And yes, he's a hawk, and we may disagree about all of that, but I never have doubted and would never doubt his intentions. I think he has very strong convictions about what America's role in the world is, and has the courage to see that through. On domestic stuff, I feel like he's squishier because it's not his forte.
Right.
And so I guess I was surprised when he voted down that bill and relieved. And I think he did it for the right reasons. I think it absolutely was a fuck you to Trump, and I think it was absolutely in his mind the right thing to do.
Right, because it was a piece of shit.
It was because the bill was a piece of shit, and because he's an institutionalist, and he didn't like the way that it was handled institutionally.
Right. Were your parents patriotic? Like my mother was so like we always had the flag out. She was so proud to be an American.
No.
Loved Thanksgiving.
No.
Nope.
Mostly, I think because I think her idea of patriotism was formed, or lack of patriotism was formed by the Vietnam War.
Right.
And she saw that as such a betrayal.
Right.
That, I mean, she used to tell us all the time, if there's ever a war, like, I'm shipping you to Canada by myself. Like,
I think that now that Henry's turning, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And when they get their license, they have to
Yeah, you have to
I'm
register
like,
for
we're
the
fuck
draft.
out of here.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
out of here.
I'm going to send my kid to Syria? For what? For what?
Right.
Yeah, I mean...
Are there any Republicans who you like?
Meghan McCain.
Sure. I like Susan Collins. You know who I loved? Olympia Snowe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where's that?
Well, I can go down the list and go, oh, well, Susan Collins, she's great, and Republicans will go, oh, she's a rhino. So to me the question is more like, are there any Republicans who are definitionally Republican according to sort of what passes for Republican today that I like? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Do you like easy bake ovens?
In hindsight, sure. Now you're referring to this refers back to Alan Alda.
Right, yes, it does.
To whom ultimately my mother was trying to mold me to become.
So your mother buys you an easy bake oven.
I'm 5 years old,
right,
or 6. I don't recall exactly.
Right.
And we celebrate Christmas because why not?
Right.
And under the tree is a giant box with my name on it.
And you're excited.
Of course I'm excited, because when you're that age, bigger clearly means better.
Right.
And so I'm clearly the best loved child.
Her parents, your mother's parents, Jews, were not upset about the Christmas tree?
They weren't particularly religious.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
And I think my mom just liked Christmas.
Right.
We also did Hanukkah. You know, we did
who doesn't love Christmas?
Right.
Seriously.
We did like a small Hanukkah and like a big Christmas.
Right.
So there's this big box.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. I don't open it. Like, I wait for everybody else's fucking presents to be opened.
Right.
I can't imagine what it is.
Right.
And I open it. It's an easy fucking bake oven. And I'm like a boy.
Right.
I want either a green machine, which is one of those 3-wheeled pedal machines that you drive around.
Yeah.
I want, what I don't want is a cooking implement.
Right.
And I remember at the time, even at 6 years old, understanding intuitively that my mother was making a fucking feminist statement by buying me this piece of shit oven operated by a 40-watt light bulb. And I was furious that she had done this.
So you open it.
I open it and I pretend that I like it.
Oh, he
likes it.
He likes it.
We were right.
Oh.
Because she wants me to be Alan Alda.
Right.
Now that I'm 45, I want to be Alan Alda.
I don't blame you.
But at the time, I was infuriated.
Did you tell her eventually?
Oh, eventually? Well, she read the book.
Right. Okay.
So eventually she found out. But yeah, it was a source of tremendous
Hello,
fury to
Michael.
me.
I just got to page 77. You know, I thought that you liked to cook. I thought that I thought it was a very nice gift.
There had been nothing.
We made cupcakes.
We did make cupcakes that one time.
Yes.
We made them once, and then we never saw it again.
Now, do you cook now?
I do actually. Only.
See?
We were right, Elaine.
Because when I was growing up, all I wanted were race cars, and like I wanted to mow the lawn.
I wanted to mow the lawn.
I just fucking wanted to mow the lawn and shovel. And my mother's like, Judith, can you can you help with the? No, I'm not helping with the dishes. Mow the fucking lawn. That's all I wanted to do. It's so interesting because now I don't know if I've mentioned I'm a lesbian.
Oh,
Yeah. How do you, as a son of a gay,
yeah.
how does this anti-gay, like that, we've been pawns used, to get votes.
The gays.
Yes. Yeah, and a scare tactic, like, do you get as virulently upset about
Gay issues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And have always been.
Yeah.
I grew up in a shitty lesbian household.
Right.
But it was because
The
they were
relationship.
shitty, not because they were lesbian.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
Who's the first person that you told I have a lesbo mother? Like, did you have to come out of the closet too?
not that I can recall. The first person that maybe I can remember having that conversation with was maybe my first girlfriend.
Really?
Maybe when I was like 15. But I don't remember ever talking about it publicly or
Right.
with friends before that. It was awkward.
Right.
They weren't out.
Right. It's such a bad message.
And I didn't like them as a couple.
Right.
Nobody came over really. I had a friend. I mean, I had a good friend growing up, and he would come over. But usually I would go over there.
Right.
So like clearly he knew, and people knew, but it wasn't anything.
No one talked about it.
Nobody talked about it.
So you really get pissed off. Like it gets your goat.
It's a thing. Yeah. It's so kind of fundamental to me.
Right.
To the point where like, you know, I feel gay by extension.
Right.
It feels very personal to me.
Right. Yeah. That's the way my sons are too.
Yeah. And so I've always been interested in civil rights.
Yeah.
Probably because of that.
Would you ever run for office?
No.
Why?
Because I would never want to raise money or walk on parade routes on holidays and wave to people. I don't ever want to have
the
to...
The money raising thing is really fucking annoying.
I could never do it.
And this, you know, I cannot take, it's so wrong.
Yeah.
It is so wrong.
I had an interview with Al Franken, and I talked to him, Jew. And
on your podcast.
On my podcast, you know, they spend sometimes 8 hours a day
raising money.
What the fuck? That's not the job.
Citizens United, baby.
Oh, that was not the
worst,
job.
Yes.
And so that alone would preclude me from. I couldn't do it.
And you have to say stuff like, "Can you do?" I could
never do it.
No.
I can't. I don't even like asking my neighbors to like watch the dog for an hour.
I don't like when the bill comes like, you owe this, you owe that, you owe this. All right. So, I mean, I could talk to you probably for, 8-9 hours. You're so fucking smart. I can't take it.
Thanks, Judy.
Do you feel like you want to cast me in anything? So, I think we got to it in the beginning of the show, but what pisses you, like, what makes you fucking lose your shit? Pisses you off to the nth degree, like...
I think in the end, it comes down to lying. I think in the end, it comes down to people looking you in the face and telling you something that they know isn't true.
Right.
And it has to do with, I think, the way my own brain works.
Right.
Where I'm literal to a fault.
Right.
Like, if, which is bad for a comedian because we operate in metaphor a lot of times. Right. But when people tell me things that are untrue, I will believe them 100% of the time.
Too, because I don't lie. So it's like, like when my girlfriend is like,
lying
accuses me. No, she'll always accuse me of not telling her something on purpose. Like, like if I go do a spot and then I have dinner, like I decide, I'll just hang out at the Cellar and have dinner with some, comics or whatever. You didn't tell me you were going to have dinner. I'm like, I didn't know. Oh, right, you didn't know, Judy. It's because she keeps certain things from me. Like,
well, I don't think like keeping things like having secrets isn't the same as lying.
Right.
And I think everybody has secrets.
But I'm just saying.
Like, I just cut one.
Do you?
But I'm not talking about it. It's my secret.
Michael?
Do you smell that? Is that the dog?
Is it? Can you get the Lysol? But can you tell when like, all right, here's the thing. Like, when I am with someone, like, and it's taken me forever to trust this, but are you ever with someone, like, especially in showbiz, and there's something off? Like, and you're like... And everyone's like, why? He's a great guy. He's great. What do you mean?
No, I'm the one going, he's a great guy. What do you mean?
Really?
I'm the idiot. Always. Because as I said to you, like, I believe people's intentions are good. Right. Almost all the time.
Right.
So if somebody tells me...
But don't you get a weird feeling sometimes with people?
Sometimes, but I'm not... I'm just... I feel like an idiot, and I feel like the older I get, the dumber I get about people in a weird way. Yeah, I feel like I'm less perceptive about people's intentions now than I was 10, 20 years ago. Maybe it's because I'm not depressed anymore.
Right.
And so I'm like, yeah, it's cool. You're cool. I'm cool. Like, we're all doing our best.
What drugs are you on?
I take citalopram, which is a Lexapro knockoff.
Oh. The Lexapro made me tired.
Yeah, I don't really have any adverse effects.
I have, we love talking about drugs on this show. I'm on the Wellbutrin in the morning.
Oh.
Yes, and I do a trazodone Paxil at night. But now I'm lowering the Paxil.
Oh.
Because I gained a lot of weight.
Uh-huh. And you couldn't get a boner.
And no, the Wellbutrin makes you still get a boner.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I've noticed, and the Paxil was one of the drugs that really got me was a good helping me out of the depression thing. But I have noticed my sleep apnea is better. Like, I'm not snoring as much. Isn't that interesting, Michael?
Very interesting. Well, I know that when I take a sleeping pill, and my wife has the same thing, when she takes one, she'll snore, or I'll snore.
What do you take?
The Ambien knockoff, whatever that is.
You're generic.
Not by choice.
Right. Do you feel like, now I mentioned that, all I really want from life right now is to be able to relax and pick my gigs and, write and, and not worry about every fucking minute, Do you feel like you're at the point where you can really?
Oh my God, no. I'm in a constant state of anxiety.
Really?
That's why I'm prolific. Because I'm constantly freaking out.
Right.
That's what you want is what I want.
But you have so much. Like, I look at you, I'm like, books, children's books, TV shows. I mean,
none of it's successful. It's all
are you
out
fucking
there.
kidding me?
It's all out there. None of it makes me any fucking money.
That's not true.
It's not entirely true, but it doesn't make a lot of money.
Right.
You know?
So what's your dream?
To disappear.
Wow.
To disappear. To essentially stop existing without being dead.
Do you want your kids there?
In
Italy, in the disappearing
They can
act.
come.
Yeah.
They can come, or they can pop in and out, wherever they want to do.
How old are they now?
16 and 14.
How do you feel about that?
Great.
Do you feel like you're going to here's my other biggest fear is the empty nest syndrome.
I don't fear it.
I am so sad when I'm like fine for 2 or 3 days and then I'm like I miss the chaos. I miss the really? You don't.
I look at it like this. My wife is incidentally sad as these years approach.
Right.
I look at it as they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, I'm so happy for them.
And so, you know, this is all part of it.
Right.
And yeah, it'll be sad and lonely to a certain extent, but the alternative is they're fucking living at home when they're 28, 34, whatever it is. Like, I want them to be off. I want them to have their lives.
I want them to have their own life too.
And I feel like I feel like I have my life too. Like I don't need their fucking company. Fuck them.
How was your sister?
My sister with Down syndrome is
how old is she?
43.
Right.
Not great.
Oh.
I mean, health-wise, I think she's okay.
Right.
But she has really regressed mentally. So, like,
does she know that your mom died?
I talked to her about it.
Right.
I don't think she understood.
Right.
And that's been a source of endless guilt, frustration,
I bet.
and sadness.
Right.
Because she lives in Florida because my mom moved to Florida and moved her down there.
Wait, she's a Jew who moved to Florida? Wow. Yeah.
And so she's in this home.
Right.
This communal home in Florida.
Right.
I never see her. And I keep going, I got to get down there. I got to get down there. I got to get down there. And then fucking life makes it very difficult.
Right.
And having a phone conversation with her is almost impossible because it feels like nothing's permeating.
Right.
And I don't even know that she knows that she's talking to me when she's talking to me.
Is she happy?
Hard to say.
Right. And what about your brother?
I can talk to him.
What does he do?
He understands when I'm talking to him. He's an actuary.
So's my brother!
You're kidding.
CPA actuary.
Oh, he's not a CPA. He's just an actuary. CPA you can
terrific.
ding for. I don't feel like actuaries necessarily.
They're so interesting, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a fascinating profession that I don't understand at all.
Oh God, I can't.
He's been doing it for I don't know how much 20-something years. I have no idea what he does.
Yeah.
I know it involves numbers,
math, statistics.
Yep.
A lot of testing.
I'm not convinced that he knows what he does.
Really?
I'm not convinced that he understands his own job. He's the vice president of something somewhere. Has been doing it a long time. Does he have a wife
and children?
He has a wife and kids. I guarantee you they don't know what he does.
Right.
And I'm 90% sure he doesn't know what he does.
Where does he live?
He lives near me.
Oh, that's good. Are
we
the
don't
kids
see each
close?
other that much.
Oh.
No, not really.
Oh,
I mean, we like each other. We just,
Right.
we're just,
Yeah,
it's just
I know.
hard.
I know, I noticed.
You did look.
I know, I just did. Michael! What are you doing in the bathroom?
Why do you have a blanket on? Are you playing with yourself again, Michael?
I cannot thank you enough.
My pleasure.
No, I fucking love you.
Thank you, Judy. I love you too.
And I loved when we did the Jim Gaffigan show.
Now gone. Now deceased,
Done
like all of my
over.
shows.
And I would love to work with you.
All right. Pitch. I mean, let's
okay.
It's two Jews.
Two Jews.
How about you play my mother because you're, 12 years older than me?
I'm 12 years older.
So that
Perfect.
seems right.
Yeah. I've always pitched the show about having a gay, I pitched my life through the years, and now it's at the point where I'll be playing like the great grandmother of my, so fucking annoying. I mean, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
You are a joy.
Oh, you're sweet. I don't feel like a joy, and I don't feel like I was particularly entertaining. But
Are you
what are you
fucking
gonna do?
kidding me, Patrick? How great was this?
He was very good. You can hear Patrick. And he's fine.
Yeah,
He was
no,
good. He was
Patrick's.
fine.
You know, I
Fuck
can't.
Patrick.
He's a fucking asshole. Fuck you, Patrick. Sorry, I'm kidding. Will you? Can you come back?
Sure.
sometime?
Sure.
Really?
Of course.
But you never come to the city because you're in Connecticut.
I know, but when I can arrange it where I have a thing and then I can do a thing.
I loved it.
I like to do things clumped
Right.
together. But I'm happy to come back anytime.
All right.
Not anytime.
But
Sometime.
like when you're here. Like you're not going to make a special trip for this. Like it
no.
has to be something else attached.
No. But I will come back.
Now, Michael,
Now,
where?
would you ever come to Connecticut?
Yes, in 2 seconds.
Well, why don't you?
Yeah.
I have a festival.
You do not.
I do.
What kind?
It's a literary and
Purim?
humor festival.
Humor. Y-U-M-O-R.
Because it's funnier. Mark Twain lived in my hometown.
Who?
Mark Twain.
I've never.
He's a
what?
humorist.
Oh, humor.
He wrote for Cracked, and one of the things that he did
Yeah.
was found our library, the Mark Twain Public Library.
Very nice.
And one of the things that I do in my hometown is I started a festival, and at the festival, which is like a weekend thing,
Yes.
we have different events. One of the events started last year.
Yes.
Now this year
Yes.
is a stand-up comedy evening. Come and perform.
I'm in.
Great.
When is the festival?
The night of stand-up is September 15th.
Oh,
I have a thing. I can't.
right now. No, I'm here. That would be great.
Will you do it?
Yeah. Let me look on my calendar.
Do you know Jenna Friedman? She's doing it.
Of course.
She's doing it. It's two shows, one night. I'll pay you a little bit of money,
Oh, please.
and you'll be raising money.
All right, let's see. So that's September 16th.
15th. Friday night.
Oh, my God, I'm in.
Are you?
Oh, my God. Yes, I am. I'm writing Mark Twain.
MARC.
I put a K because that's how I thought it was. Mark Twain. I'm in.
Okay.
Oh, my God, I'm so excited. I love Jenna Friedman.
Yeah.
She's really smart.
She's really smart.
I know I want her on the, but she's writing and
Oh, she does all
she
the
can only
things.
do the weekends and
And we'll get you a car. We'll bring you up.
oh, terrific.
You can bring what's her name? Lydia, Natalie,
Elisa, my lover.
You love her. You can bring her. You can bring the kids.
Can I bring Elaine?
You can bring Elaine.
Is she alive, Elaine?
She is.
Do you talk to her?
No, it ended badly.
Well, you know what?
Fuck
That's the way. Fuck you, Elaine. Get out of the house, you fucking cunt. So people can follow you
at Michael Ian Black on Twitter. If you want to hear nonstop aggravation about
Oh my
the
God,
current
I love it.
administration.
I
hate it. I hate that I do it.
I hate it,
But I can't
too,
stop.
But I can't stop either.
Yeah.
And when people tell me to stop, I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Of course.
You know, it's like, no, I'll do what I fucking want to do.
Yeah, it's my free Twitter feed.
Right, you assho.
You don't have to follow.
You have many books. What's your favorite book that you wrote?
Oh, I don't know. But you can look
You
me
can
up on
look.
the Amazon.
There's so many.
There's not that many,
There are. There's 5. 6? 5?
including children's books.
Yes.
No. There's like 6 or 7 children's books.
Oh, I thought there was.
No, I don't even know how many. There's a lot. There's a lot of children's books, and then there's like 3 adult books plus
Right.
the book with Megan, which is a 4th.
Yes,
So
I
3
have
and a
that
half.
book
You
in
do?
my bookshelf. Yes, I do.
Did you ever read it?
Yes, I did.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it is.
I was just re-looking at it.
Yeah, it's great. And the naval.
And the naval
The
gazing.
naval base.
And then a book called You're Not Doing It Right.
You're not doing it right, which is the voice that goes off in my head every time I do anything.
Right.
Judith, you're not doing it right.
Right.
Michael, you are,
I really am.
and it is.
It really is.
So I can't.
Don't even.
And
You too.
ladies and gentlemen, this has been one of my favorite episodes of Kill Me Now. Thank you so much, Michael Ian
pleasure.
Black. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.